Earlier today in the Senate, there was a motion presented that stood with the House of Commons motion on the 20th of September that called for the revocation of the honorary citizenship bestowed upon the civilian leader of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi. I moved an amendment to that motion with strong support for the motion, but as a way of bringing the motion into greater compliance with international human rights law, in particular the UN Genocide Convention. My motion was defeated, but the symbolic motion was very strongly supported in the Senate, and I think it's fair to say that there was also a strong indication that the motion today is a motion that has very high symbolic value, and that it is really a foundation on which we can move forward with more specific actions that are in closer alignment with international law. And I have with me today the Director of Advocacy for the Rohingya Human Rights Network, an organization of activists and experts that I've had the pleasure to work with for some time, and I'm going to ask Mr. Farid Khan to comment further. Mr. Khan.
Thank you very much, Senator McPhedran. I'd first of all like to thank Senator McPhedran for working with us and for her support as we've moved forward in this process. I'd also like to thank Senator Omidvar, Senator Talajan, and Senator Munson, also Senator Jaffer, who've been supportive of the motion. As Senator McPhedran mentioned, the decision that was taken today in the Senate was highly symbolic, and it was very important. We have been lobbying the government to revoke Aung San Suu Kyi's honorary Canadian citizenship since last fall. We're glad we finally reached that point. We also had been calling on Canada to recognize the genocide in Myanmar, which we're very thankful for. However, as important as the symbolism of what happened today in the Senate and what happened last week and over the last 2 weeks in the House of Commons is, we know that more substantive action does need to be taken so that there can be an impact on the ground in Myanmar. Specifically, we'd like the Canadian government to invoke the UN Convention on the prevention and punishment of the crime of genocide. That treaty, which Canada is a party to and has been a party to since 1948, when it was signed by then Foreign Affairs Minister Lester Pearson, is important because it not only it holds the state that commits crimes accountable under international law. And while a lot of the focus recently has been on calling to account the military and civilian leaders who have been responsible for and complicit in the Rohingya genocide, that treaty, that process does not hold the state of Myanmar accountable. And therefore, it's very important to invoke this treaty so that the state itself, the state of Myanmar, can be held accountable and move forward in conjunction with the processes that are underway to hold individuals accountable under international law. So we will work with Senator McPhedran in the future. We're also willing to work with the other senators who were party to the motion that was presented today, Senator Omidvar, Senator Talajan, Senator Munson, Senator Jaffer, to make sure that not only do we take symbolic action, which is important, but we also take action as a nation that has meaningful impact on the ground and allows the Rohingya to find justice not only through the International Criminal Court, but also through the International Court of Justice.